The executive minister conducts the dedication of the House of Worship in Oxnard, California. Hear stories from the men's and women's volleyball championships at the Continental Unity Games. Your INC News World starts now. Hello and welcome to INC News World. I'm Michael Guerrero from the INC Media Services San Francisco studio. Last weekend, the executive minister of the Church of Christ, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, visited Oxnard, California to dedicate their newly renovated house of worship. Let's check in with Ray Gemeniano, who has some insight on that blessed day.
As you can see around me, brethren are overwhelmed with joy and smiles because we just finished the worship service and chapel dedication led by our beloved brother Eduardo V. Manalo. I was able to even meet different brethren from different parts of Southwest California, especially brother William Dorsey, who was introduced to the church 34 years ago and was even baptized here in Oxnard, California.
Well, I'm originally from Philadelphia, PA, joined the military.
In 1984, as a young Navy officer, William was stationed near Oxnard, California. There, he was invited to a Bible study in the Iglesia ni Cristo, Church of Christ.
So this is where actually I became a member of the Church of Christ, and God blessed me to be a member of the Church of Christ right here in this locale.
William eventually moved to Delano, California, and became a deacon and raised two sons.
This is actually my second dedication in the last month. I also was at Eva Beach because my youngest son was ordained, Brother Edwin Dorsey, who's right now assigned in Kenya, Africa. The church is growing, and he's a part of that, and our family is a part of that. So I'm very proud of him, what he's doing right now.
So when William heard the news that the Oxnard House of Worship would be renovated and be dedicated by the executive minister of the Church of Christ, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, he knew he had to be a part of it.
This is a very blessed day. This is a great day. For him to come here and dedicate the Oxnard, my heart is just filled with a lot of joy. And thank God and thank our executive minister for all the hard work he's done to make sure that all the churches here, all throughout the world, are being able to be dedicated.
Like William, members of the Church of Christ from miles around, some as far as Canada and Florida, also wanted to be a part of the blessed day in Oxnard, California.
Congratulations to Oxnard's dedication.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to our brethren in Oxnard.
It was absolutely beautiful. It was beautiful. The work was done. It's you know, it can't compare to what it was and what it is now. It's just marvelous. Wonderful work. We're growing, we're expanding. And just to know that, you know, through our offerings, the houses of worship are being built because the demand is so big now because people are joining all over the world. So we need new houses of worship.
And being back in Oxnard, William could not help but reminisce about his journey of faith that started there 34 years ago.
It's so nice being back and seeing you all again, and to come back for this very special dedication is something that brings back a lot of memories on how, when I was here, how you treated me, how you showed me your love, and took good care of me when I was being baptized in the church. And I'd like to thank each and every one of you for that. And most of all, I'd like to thank our Almighty God.
Meeting the different brethren here at this occasion, especially Brother William Dorsey, you can just tell how this worship service and chapel dedication furthermore inspired them to strengthen their faith, because they will also not let the fire of the Holy Spirit be extinguished within them. Reporting from Oxnard, California, I'm Ray Gemeniano II, reporting for Iglesia ni Cristo News Network.
Growing up in Oxnard, California, a small town miles away from any big city, you might not expect much, but Ivan Capistrano grew up in a place where faith, above everything, made a community.
So many times during the construction, there were people just walking by, even driving by, who would stop and marvel.
This house of worship didn't always look like this, But even before the renovation, Ivan Capistrano had always stood in awe of the Oxnard House of Worship.
We are kind of an isolated locale. We're far from the smaller locales. We're also far from LA, but still close enough where we can reach both. So in the 80s, a lot of activities were actually held here. We used to have programs here, like almost felt like every month, every other week. There was always something going on in this locale. The Kadiwa were extremely active. The Buklod were extremely active. And from that, I kind of took a sense of pride. My dad being head deacon and my mom being a head deacon's wife, every single day they were here. My parents are just amazing leaders, and they everything that they taught us was something biblical based. What they taught us was that faith above everything.
Faith above everything. It was an unspoken theme that Ivan witnessed amongst the brethren during the renovations.
It was coming here every week so that this chapel could be renovated.
Even those from other congregations helped in the renovations, like Joey Sanchez.
So I think it's very important that we were able to unite with each other, to rally with each other, and to help each other achieve this goal that we had in common. Everyone was united in taking care of the chapel.
It was a long process, arduous, lots of work, lots of sweat, but when you see it, it's like, as much as it is of God, it's like we're also part of it, and because of that, it's going to unite us more and just make us stronger as a locale. It makes me so grateful.
Ivan is also grateful to have witnessed the dedication of the Oxnard House of Worship and has great hopes for the future.
Our hope is to, really concentrate on our neighborhood. People across the street who live really close are saying, "Well, this place looks so much more beautiful than it did before." Our hope is to include them in this work of salvation.
From Oxnard, California, I'm Brother Kenneth Raddock reporting for the Iglesia de Cristo News Network.
That house of worship truly is beautiful, and it was a long road of renovations that got it to that point. Over the last year, brethren from around Southwest California pitched in time and effort to make it happen. Let's meet some of those brothers. Brother Richie Ferreira has that story.
If you want to see the future of the church, take a look at the youth.
Back in April 2017, the youth, the children's worship service teachers of Southwest California, like Kyle and Joey, were in Oxnard, California, helping in the demolition phase of the chapel's renovation.
We were given an announcement in the worship service that there was going to be a batares or a renovation here in the local of Oxnard. So obviously, I was ready to come and help out our brothers and sisters in Oxnard.
In the very beginning of the renovation, we started to, really just take down everything.
We got to work in taking out the pews, taking out the choir loft. It was a lot of work, but seeing everyone smiling and seeing everyone into the renovation, you couldn't help but have energy and do it with everyone else. So it was really fun. I definitely have the same feeling in terms of taking care of the brethren and taking care of the edifices of the chapel. So it's a beautiful thing. It's very important because that's where we go to worship our Almighty God.
Considering it as part of their duties, not only to take care of the people inside the church, but the places of worship as well.
Even those simple things, we have to teach them so that when they grow up, it's something they'll never forget. And it's something they'll continue so that we can make sure we always have a house of worship that is presentable and perfect before our Almighty God.
Fast forward to August 2018, with the Oxnard House of Worship renovation complete, the efforts of the INCNews members from different parts of Southwest California, like Joe and Kyle, did not go unnoticed.
Actually, I would like to thank everybody that came from our other locales around for their help and what they've been able to accomplish. I appreciate it, and I'm hoping God will grant them a lot of blessings for what they were able to do.
What these brothers did may have been just a small part, but now the local congregation of Oxnard has a newly dedicated house of worship, one that everyone is thankful for.
It feels really nice because it feels complete now. I know some of the brethren might not benefit from coming here as often as the members here, but it really makes everyone here in Oxnard, I can speak for myself, feel a sense of community and love from everyone else. So it's a good feeling. Yeah, thankful.
When it comes to taking care of and even helping out in other congregations that are not our own, it's important to always be part of that project because no matter where we are in this world, this is our home.
From Oxnard, California, I'm Richie Ferrero reporting for Iglesia ni Cristo News Network.
Coming up, the stories behind the men's and women's championship games at the Continental Unity Game. Baseball, badminton, and soccer. This and more when INCnews World returns. Welcome back. I'm Michael Guerrero from our San Francisco, California studios, and you're watching INCnews World. At the men's volleyball championships, those of you who saw the live streaming of the full length of the game know how intense it was. Let's meet the coach of the Canadian team who went home with the victory. Martin Zeruto has that story.
So I was part of the choral group for the musical. The event was amazing. The atmosphere and the energy, it was so amazing, and it was such a blessing to be a part of it because if you listen to the lyrics of the songs and if you really listen to the message that's really trying to be portrayed by that musical, you feel lucky to be part of the church and to grow, to see the church grow and to be part of the growth. It was just amazing. It was just amazing.
It's not very often that someone is blessed in both music and sports, like Brian Flores is.
I'm in the choir. I'm actually the assistant choir leader for the adult choir, and I'm also the choir leader for the children's choir.
He may lead choirs, but he has also led this underdog team from Canada to California for the Continental Unity Games Men's Volleyball Championships.
Whenever we see people come from far places like that and making sacrifices to get here, knowing that they love the sport as much as we do and seeing them make great plays, of course we're going to turn them on. We're going to be so excited for them, and any success that they have on the court, we're definitely supporting them.
But now let's get ready to prepare because we still have some more work to do, and whatever happens tomorrow, we know we've done our best and we'll be happy with the result.
And that result, win or lose, would only come from one place.
All the different things you experienced growing up, anything could have happened to, weaken my faith, take me away, but I've been lucky that God loved me for some reason, and He wants me here, and so I'll make the most of it.
God is working behind the scenes, and He is guiding us in making sure that this Unity Games will be the best. Everything that we have all comes from God, including our strength, our talents.
As members, we believe that truly that God gave us everything that we have, and we love being able to use these talents that God's given us to use on the court, as well as those fortunate enough to be blessed with musical talents. They really do something that is very special if they're able to do sports and music.
So what else do you want to say to West Coast?
West Coast, you guys brought the best out of us. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Whether by curtain call or by trophy, Brian Flores knows where to return all the glory.
It's all from God, honestly.
From the Continental Unity Games, I'm Martin Zeruto, reporting for the Iglesia ni Cristo News Network.
Look at all this energy and look at all this love. But speaking of love, look at this crowd, everyone!
The Women's Volleyball Championship at the Continental Unity Games had a very special husband and wife duo at the helm. Let's meet Jackie and Michael Salonga. Loris Jamuk has that story.
Grew up as Binhi together playing volleyball, and then Kadiwa together playing volleyball, and now Bukla together playing volleyball. So it's always been with us.
Jackie and Michael Salonga grew up playing sports together.
We were in the 1997 All-Stars, but he played basketball, and I played volleyball with the women's team.
Now married with kids, the Salongas share a special bond on the court.
Since we're married and we have the same visions and we see the same things. It's good to have eyes on the side of the court. I would just, even just like one glance at him, I already know what's going on. I already know what he's thinking.
It's quality time that helps us in our marriage. This is something that we both have a passion for, so it's nice to be able to share that with each other.
But they don't just share their love for volleyball with each other, they also share their love for volleyball with their children.
And they sort of somewhat like grew up in the gym, like when we would have practices for regionals and the nationals and internationals. They were always there at the gym running around.
They've been to volleyball camp and we play in our living room. They know how to do the little things already.
And sometimes balancing home life, church life, and volleyball can be difficult.
It's a little bit hard. You definitely need the help of your family. When we come out here, the kids, our parents and then brother, sister, they're helping out with the kids. So it definitely helps a lot.
But at the end of the day, participating in the Unity Games is something that they will always hold close to their heart.
It's sports and we enjoy the sport, but what makes it even more important for us is it's for the church. We feel like we're doing something to help the church. We're coming together as a group and we're all church members and we kind of get to spend some time doing something, an activity that we both enjoy and we know it's a part of what the church wants.
We're just really thankful for the church administration and they've always given us this opportunity to play in these games. Going to the Philippines and doing things that the church administration has set out for us, and it really feels good to have them do that for us.
From the Continental Unity Games, I'm Loris J. Jamok for Iglesia Cristo News Network.
Competing as a family isn't that rare in Unity Games. Family members often team up somehow to experience that love of the brotherhood together. Just like the Belong brothers from California. Elma Joy Trinidad has that story.
Siblings Jeremy and Gerald Belong grew up in an athletic environment. Despite many years of sporting activities, today's Continental Unity Games are a highlight of their family history.
I've been playing since I was 4. I've been playing since I was 6.
On the field, they support one another as teammates, while off the field, they help each other as brothers in family and in faith.
We actually have never been on the same team outside of church events. As team members, us being catcher and pitcher, even though I'm calling the shots, I'm relying on him. As long as he's performing, then I can perform as well. Brothers, we're both in choir for church, and so we'd be there, we'd go to practice, we're always there for each other.
Together with the Belong brothers, members of the Church of Christ from all over North America felt the bonds of brotherhood strengthened at today's Continental Unity Games.
I think Unity Games is special because not only do we all get to join together and bond over sports that we love and music and performances, being in worship service, and we're meeting them, making close bonds with them, and it's a great time, it's great feelings.
From the Continental Unity Games, this is Sister Elma Joy Trinidad with the Iglesia Cristo News Network.
Coming up, we'll have badminton, soccer. Stay tuned for more INC News World. Welcome back to INC News World. Badminton can sometimes feel like a lonely sport. Sometimes there's no teammates and you're against just a single opponent. But let's catch up with two ladies who, even as opponents, understand that the love of the brotherhood is at the root of it all. Darlene Bessa has the details.
This is Charito Boss and Sunshine Kayubit, two Unity Games athletes from opposite ends of the country that both share a love for badminton.
Badminton is a good exercise. It's totally different from tennis, but this is a quick move.
It's a good exercise. I mean, it's for all, for youth and for us.
The whole court is yours if a single game. So in my age, it's very hard. I've been playing in the Philippines since 2008. Yeah, for exercise. Yeah, because I saw my friends in the Philippines that they are enjoying playing badminton. They laugh together while playing. So yeah, I'm encouraged with that. Yeah, so I enjoyed it a lot. In our church, the unity is there, and then you saw church mates that you, even if you're not, you don't know each other, but you're just like friends, and yeah.
Charito played and won her way to the finals, and so did Sunshine, where they both met at the championship round.
I'm so proud. I'm very proud. I'm very excited because it's a historical moment. And for me, with God's help, even I lose or not, we still play as one.
Reporting from the Continental Unity Games, I'm Darlene Bessa for Iglesia Cristo News Network.
Soccer in North America isn't as popular as it is in other countries, but in the Myers family, it's really, really important. Let's meet the youngest commentator of the Continental Unity Games. Kylene Ortola has the story.
Chris Myers is 12 years old and a pretty big soccer fan.
I always admire the players and how they played, and that's how I really got into it.
Build it to number 18 on Midwest.
It's really cool to commentate and my dad playing. It's like you get to announce his goal, like your father scored a goal, like you get to announce it.
He has the honor of being the play-by-play announcer during the Continental Unity Games soccer competition.
It's kind of confusing, but it's like you're not talking to anybody. You're talking to yourself. Just focus on the game. Focus on what you're doing, and if you know the sport very well, you know what to say. You just act like you're talking to your friend, but in a really interesting way.
He pays close attention to the game, but he's also paying attention to the unity and love for brotherhood that's on display here.
1, 2, 3. We have 4 teams from Canada, from the West Coast, East Coast, and Midwest. And what's really obvious and consistent is that it doesn't matter where they came from. They come here enthusiastic about the games, enthusiastic not only about trying to do their best as a team, but reaching across the various teams, knowing that in fact they are brothers in the church.
All of the glory and honor unto you. Amen. Father, please bless our love for you.
It's really cool to comment, like how you get to see all the brethren play from different districts and come together in unity.
We are still maintained the spirit of brotherhood and unity, and we are excited and we are happy for our games today.
And it's all those games, all these brethren are good at, and then seeing my family, especially my dad playing soccer.
I was fortunate enough to play in the last big unity games in the Philippines 4 years ago, and my biggest takeaway from that experience was this bond that you build with your brothers and your sisters. Okay.
The approach that bonded the players is also the same approach that will ensure the next generation of unity games.
You can see the wide array of age ranges, and we're encouraged to see that there's a lot of brethren that are on the young side, and it's exciting to see.
So it's like it'll always stay with you. You'll never forget doing commentary at a Unity Games.
Goal! From the Continental Unity Games, I'm Kylene Ortola for Iglesia Cristo News Network.
Score!
Coming up next, the spirit of Unity Games continues in Singapore. We meet another furry friend. Stay tuned. Welcome back to INCnews World. As the church concentrated on the Continental Unity Games happening in California recently, There were other Unity games also being conducted around the world. Denise Alignay has the story out of Singapore.
Most of our brethren here in Singapore are far away from their loved ones.
With over 100,000 Filipino overseas workers in Singapore, it's easy for these workers to feel homesick. But members of the Church of Christ have a family away from home for that familiar bond of love and support. With the aim of bringing people together, the local congregation of Singapore Midland held their Unity Games activity.
Most especially during times of loneliness, they have this kind of activity to help them.
Unity, so it's the unity itself, brotherhood, sportsmanship, camaraderie, and yeah, that's the main reason, love for brotherhood.
Masaya po ako dahil sa ako po na nabigyan ng pagkakataon na makipagkaisa sa sinagawang Unity Games po ng Singapore Midland.
It's never easy being far away from home. However, with a support system like this, members of the Church of Christ realize that family is closer than they think. I'm Sister Denise Alignay reporting for Iglesia de Cristo News Network.
Thank you to everyone who submitted photos of their furry family members. We really received a lot of submissions. For this week's Pet Corner, we are featuring Smokey, a Siamese mix who is 6 years old and who belongs to the Galarpe family in Anne Arundel, Maryland. Smokey is a very neat pet. She loves grooming herself and loves it when her humans brush her fur. She spends most of her day sleeping on her cat tree and on her parents' bed. She enjoys watching people and birds, as well as sniffing the flowers in their front porch and their backyard. If you have a furry friend you want us to feature, send us a message at info@incmedia.org with the subject Pet Corner. It's time to check out the latest on incmedia.org, the latest podcast from Faith and Family, understanding your child's meltdowns. When your child has a meltdown or throws a tantrum, they're trying to communicate something. Check out this podcast to learn how to handle the meltdown. And this week's must-see is the latest episode of Blueprint featuring 3 locations in Africa and their houses of worship. Let's take a peek.
In South Africa, the horizon can often look like it could go on and on forever in every direction.
Do you see the road here? Up until there. This is all ours. Our land is about 500 hectares.
Growing up in South Africa, this view is not new to Moses. But yet, today he sees a different type of endless horizon.
The time they decided to build the chapel, I was so happy. I was so happy because I knew that even if I go to invite somebody, I'm going to tell her or him, come to the church and feel the Holy Spirit.
We'll see how the need for a place of worship in this small South African town has brought change far greater than the residents could ever imagine.
That does it for us on INC News World. I'm Michael Guerrero, and on behalf of the entire INC News World team, thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend, and God bless.